Um, going into this game tonight in my pregame video, I said I kind of had a good feeling about this one. It wasn't like the Vikings game where I had no clue how to feel. It wasn't like the Panthers game where I kind of felt bad about it. I felt kind of good about this game. I felt good about our ability to play well, to do things, to give ourselves a chance to win, to maybe have it come down to who scores last, that kind of stuff. But it was getting harder and harder and harder to see a victory because, look, there were just a lot of things working against this team in terms of us being able to do what we want to do and need to do. And somehow tonight, we did those things anyway. And I thought we might have some success. I didn't think we were going to have this much success. So, 38 to 31 Seahawks. We clinch a playoff spot. We clinch, I think, the 5 seed. And we're going on with, you know, some optimism because that was a good team that we played tonight. And they played pretty well. They did some good stuff out there. But we did what we want to do. We ran the ball. We ran the ball. We ran the ball. 43 rushing attempts in this game. 210 yards. 5 yards a clip. And look, if you told me that on top of everything else, George Fant was going to get nicked up, that J.R. Sweezy was going to leave the game early and not come back, and if you were even going to throw in, hey, Doug Baldwin's going to miss a couple plays. I know he came back really quickly, but if you told me that, I would have said there's no way. There's just no way we're going to be able to do everything we need to do, shuttling, gimped up DJ Fluker out there and, shuttling in and out random offensive linemen that I've never even heard of, and I follow this team pretty closely. I was like, I was thinking to myself as I watched this game, if you told me that we were going to have all these problems on top of the problems we had coming into this game, I would have said there's no way we're going to be able to impose our will on the ground, and we did. And because of that, the passing game opened up in the second half. In the second half, Wilson threw for, I think, 210 yards and a couple touchdowns. Wilson played a really good game. He started out slow. The first half was pedestrian, but he didn't make any big mistakes other than missing Doug Baldwin on what would have been maybe a game-changing bomb, but he got it back later. He also made a couple plays with his legs, which was great. He converted a 3rd and 13 early in this game. He picked up like a 30-yard run, or it was a 26-yard run, excuse me, a 26-yard run on a key drive for us that ended in a touchdown when it looked like he was going to get sacked. And I have to give all the credit in the world when it comes to our offensive success to basically Mike Solari and the guys up front, because look, J.R. Sweezy had problems. I'm not J.R. Sweezy. Ethan Posick had problems out there tonight. That's obvious. Ethan Posick had problems. He had a penalty or two. He got beat a few times. He looked outmatched by some of the Chiefs' defensive linemen on certain plays, but they overcame that. I mean, George Fant had his share of issues in this game too. Even Justin Britt, who I really like, and he's a really good player, he had a couple plays where he just got kind of embarrassed out there. And through it all, by the time the second half rolled around, the offensive line was playing really good. And it wasn't bulletproof like I'm kind of used to, like I would expect against a team like the Chiefs. There were definitely plays, especially at the end, where Carson was getting hit in the backfield and taken down for a 2 or 3 yard loss, which I attribute a lot of that to the fact that we have our backup offensive lineman out there. But they held together enough to give Wilson a pocket to complete some passes, and they held up enough in the run game to give us the 200 yards that we needed to win this game. So shout out to Mike Solari. I think a big chunk of this win goes to him and the work he's done with these offensive linemen. It doesn't matter if we miss 1 or 2 guys. They find a way to get it done. Doug Baldwin, maybe his best game of the season, had a touchdown catch, had one down to the 1-inch line. Ed Dickson made some big plays in this game. I've been a little down on Ed Dickson this year, honestly, just because I thought he was going to come in and be a guy who could catch 5 or 6 passes a game, and he hasn't been at all. But tonight he had a touchdown catch and he converted a 3rd and 17 or whatever it was, 3rd and 16, something like that, where it was basically a dump off and he just broke some tackles. Tyler Lockett, 100 yards through the air and probably another 50 or 60 yards on pass interference calls. I don't know if one of the PI calls was really much of a PI, but he's gotten really good at drawing those flags. So the offense, which I was a little concerned about, and it wasn't perfect, obviously. I mean, we had red zone opportunities that ended in short field goals. We had a 4th and inches situation early in the game where I really thought we should have gone for it, and we didn't. But given the state of this team right now, where we don't have a couple of guys that we depend on, I was very happy with the way this offense played. And that's your offense. Your defense, I don't know if they can do that much better than what we saw out there tonight. I really don't. They gave up 4 touchdowns because the field goal came off the short field, I think. Yeah, okay, that sounds about right. I think they gave up 4 touchdowns against this Kansas City offense. I'll take it. They forced a big fumble that gave us an easy touchdown. They forced a fumble that destroyed their opportunity at kicking a field goal right before the end of the first half. They got a stop on a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 1 and a 3rd and 3. They got off the field in some of those key situations. They didn't get a lot of pressure on Mahomes, but as the game went on, they did manage to force him into some throwaways once or twice, and those added up, and they made a big difference in a game that ended this close. Clark hit him 3 times, no sacks, but he did get to the quarterback a few times. Deion Jordan had a big impact in this game, actually. Got to give him a shout out. And look, Akeem King, a guy who I would have fully expected to get torched a little bit in a game like this, he did not. They sicked him on Travis Kelce, and Kelce didn't do that much today. So great job by Akeem King, the rookie, stepping up, making some big plays out there. Griffin, I thought he made a couple nice plays out there too. Honestly, we got beat over the top once in this game. It was the Tyreek Hill on Justin Coleman play where, honestly, Coleman did everything he could. I don't know how you can put that on him. So Coleman gave up the one big play in this game, and I can't even really blame him for that. So you're going to give up plays against this Kansas City offense. You just are. And Mahomes played a really good game after settling down. Early in this game, he was overthrowing people a bunch. We did get burned for a 40-yard touchdown that Mahomes just missed in the first quarter. But I can't hate on anything the defense did tonight. I would like to see more pressure on Mahomes, obviously, but it's easier said than done. And with the roster that we have, I think we did about as good as we could. So I'm happy, and I think Seahawks fans should be happy. To me, this game, I was kind of disappointed in the way the coaching staff was approaching this game early on. I was watching this game, and to me, it seemed like Pete Carroll was coaching in a different game than he was actually coaching in, where, you're punting the ball on 4th and inches, you're punting the ball on 4th and 1, you're kicking field goals on 4th down and medium. And I was thinking to myself, this Kansas City team scores so damn fast and so damn efficiently. Field goals and punts, even if they're good field goals and good punts, are not going to do you a big favor. But I have to give Pete some credit. He really has faith in his defense to be able to do enough. And it wasn't great tonight, but they did enough. And I get on Pete sometimes because I think he trusts his defense too much. And sometimes his defense is just not as good as he seems to think it is. But tonight it paid off. Tonight he did some things that I would not have done. And it didn't always end with immediate good results, but it did end in this win. And only bad things I really got to say tonight. Special teams were crap. Janikowski missed an easy field goal. He missed another one, but got bailed out on a roughing the kicker call, which, it was roughing the kicker, but it's got nothing to do with the miss. So it's going to be horrifying in the playoffs if we have to depend on Janikowski to do anything. It's going to be terrifying. So look forward to that. and the kickoff coverage, the 60-yarder that put Kansas City back in this game when it looked like it was basically over. Not okay. Not especially after what happened last week. But yeah, we got the win against a really good Kansas City team. Kansas City team that will almost certainly get the 1 seed in the AFC. So I'm just crossing my fingers we get healthy next week because I don't think this game we're playing against Arizona is going to mean jack shit. I'm sure we will make an attempt to win, at least early on. But I'm thinking about getting Fluker at 100%, Baldwin at 100%. Um, whatever we're doing at safety. If it's Hill, it's Hill. If it's Tedrick, it's Tedrick. Whatever. We got to get that healthy. And I think we have a chance against almost anybody. I don't know if we have a chance against the Saints because they're a different animal, but even them, I feel like we could probably play them pretty well because we're running the ball so effectively, but we got to get some of these guys back. So next week, we've earned the right to chill out a little bit, and yeah. And I have no illusions about this defense being particularly good. It's not. I mean, our run defense tonight was pathetic. And of course, Kansas City did bust a couple of good plays through their passing game on us, but that that was a lot of good effort, man. That was a lot of really good effort by those guys. So that's all you can ask for. As long as the defense gives that kind of effort, our rush attack and our efficient passing attack is going to give us a chance. I mean, tonight, I know listening to the coverage, Collinsworth spent 3.5 hours talking about nothing but Patrick Mahomes sometimes, and I love Patrick Mahomes. Wilson probably outplayed him, man. I mean, Wilson was more efficient. Wilson made more plays with his legs. Wilson, I mean, he averaged 9.5 yards an attempt, but Mahomes didn't even get to 7. So we can't forget that we've got that going on. And all right, I'm going to go watch the fifth quarter over here. See you guys next week. We'll see if there's even any point in being interested at all in the game next week, but it is another game. It is probably the last home game of the year. So see y'all then. Go Hawks. Big win tonight. Fills us with some confidence about what we could do going forward, and that's all I got.